Alright guys, so where we left off is got the doors mounted up on the cab, and then I think we're to the point now where we can get the front clip mounted up and start the work, the body work on the front. We're gonna correct the this grill slant because that's not correct, so there'll be a filler piece in the kit to bring that out, just a fudge to make that right. Kind of hard to see, my fingers in the way, so we'll be doing that. And then but the first step I think is going to be setting the front clip onto the cab, and then we can just be done with the cab for a while and do that work. Something I wanted to go over before I did this, because if you've made it through this part, we totally skipped this. And if you're gonna do carpet, you may want to fit that before you mount this floor pan in here. So this is just black felt. It'd be a heck of a lot easier to get this pre-fitted, and then you can glue that in there. It's easier to mess. Well, you probably wouldn't want to glue this in before, yeah, because you're gonna need to do paint and all that. So yeah, but you can, at least get it cut out and fitted first. So that's just a quick tip. Since I have a bunch of floorboards, I'll definitely be doing fitting my my felt in here in one of these before I install it in the cab. But I just wanted to mention that. So yeah, it's been busy. I have another business and a lot of shipments going out, so I haven't had much time for this. And I'm probably gonna be slowing down on this too. I'll probably be doing like 1 or 2 videos a week, 2 at the most. But I do want to get the other one that's completed on my SX10 chassis soon, because I don't have a rig, and until that's done, I won't have anything to run. And I'll be doing a revised FPV gimbal for that. So basically I'm gonna rebuild this gimbal so that it mounts directly in place of the seat. But that's for another time. So I'm gonna get this out of the way. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna want to do is get these blocks mounted. And if you notice, there's like a relief here, and then also it fits to the contour of the fender. So so there is a left and a right, so you don't want to put this in backwards. That relief is to the front so that it misses the hood hinges. So, and because they're 3D prints, and we're probably not going to do like a lot of, we're going to do some cleanup, but not all. So you may have to deburr the parts. Alright, so these are screws that came with the K10 Scottsdale body kit, not the RTR version. So I got these screws. Alright, so for mounting these guys, I'm going to use the M3x6. So these are little shorter ones. If you strip them out or whatever, you can always put longer ones in, but you always want to try to start out with some shorter ones. Kind of like the hinges on the doors. You want to start out with short ones. If they strip out, then you can always put longer ones in. So, and then to mount the front clip on that lower hole, I'm going to use the longer M3x8. So these are a little bit longer ones. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so On the screw holes, we're probably going to want to drill those out first. And I'm going to get a measurement on the right drill. I want something that's about 80 thousandths. Oh, that's another short one. Oh, I might not have it in here. Oh, I think this is the one I'm looking for. Yeah, so this is about 75 thou. So I'm gonna drill the blocks. I just bought this drill a couple weeks ago, last week. And then you're going to want to do the holes on the cab. Last build, it cracked, but that was a pretty simple fix. I just put the screw in there, kind of spread it out, and then squirted some the Loctite super glue in there, and then took the screw back out and squeezed back shut, and it was good to go. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and get these short guys out, and then find a wrench. Yeah, on the one that's finished, I only put the top screw in. So, and that's probably plenty. After it's all done, but initially you probably want to do both of them so that you make sure that this is pushed up against the this boss here. So, but yeah, I'm gonna take my own advice here and kind of pre-thread these. And I don't know, if you need to adjust it in towards the door, you can always take out some material either from the cab or from that block. I guess that's just a matter of preference. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is bolt on the front clip, and this is just going to be a temporary thing. Basically, I just want to look at my door lines before I start filing. If I have to add some epoxy, then this will be the time to do that. And again, I think I'm going to kind of pre-tap it. Wow. And I am tied up against the block, but see how misaligned that is? Which isn't too big of a deal because that'll help with the door opening. Wonder why that's changed. Because it looks good here, and it actually looks okay there. Let's put the hood on. And the hood is bumping up against something. Alright, so I got quite a bit of gap here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them blocks back out, and I'm going to take off some material. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and start knocking the inside of the fenders down too. I'm not too concerned about the body line. The body line looks okay. This side's got a little bit excessive gap right here, but I think I'm just going to live with it. So, take it all back apart. Alright, so the hood, these where the hinges mount are hitting right on here. So I'm gonna take a file and kind of chamfer that in. Cut into a little bit. I guess it doesn't matter because the hood's going to cover it anyway. And it's really just the front one that's what was hitting. this had knocked that down right there. Alright, so now alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a Sharpie. Alright, so I'm gonna just kinda mark this so I have a visual reference what I'm taking out. I might have to do this a couple times actually. I probably should have smooth that first because it's got the saw cuts. But yeah, you don't want to take any off this way. We're just trying to scoop that in so the door can miss it. So yeah, I'm gonna just trying to make them look the same. Alright, so I'm going to re-blue this. Alright, so this angle is about a 30-degree angle. Just want to be even, you know, as you're taking it down. Don't just work on one spot. You know, work on the whole thing. And just be careful right in here where that body line is. Right here, I'm going to use the flat edge. So I don't know how well you can see that, but it looks like I got about a 1/16 right there. And if you notice, I'm not paying a lot of attention to where this is. It's not much you can really do about that because of the boss here for the screw. Alright, so yeah, there's less than 60 thou, I think, easily. That's probably gonna be good enough. If not, pull it back off and file again. But yeah, I'm not sure if I should. Not sure if I should put it back together before I file any more off these or not. One thing I did notice is that it's kind of the surface kind of raised around where the holes are after they've been threaded. But actually, I think I'm gonna go get a. I think I am gonna take a little bit off. It's not a big deal if there's a little bit of gap between these and the fenders, because when we epoxy this, that's gonna just spill anyway. But I'm gonna get a vise and then so I can set them up to knock them down a little bit. All right. I'm going to use some tape to kind of create a line that I want to target. I'm not going to take a lot off. If I had to guess, this is probably about less than 50 thousandths. Alright, I'm going to set this aside, and then I'll put this back together. It's actually not too bad. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to oh yeah, and you should actually have your hood on when you're doing this. You don't have to have the hinges or anything, but you want to have the right gap on the hood. Like when I'm done with this, I'll just basically tape it on, sort of like so. And you can see where it's kind of bumping it. So another way to fix that is to actually roll the front of the door. So I think I'm gonna take some more material off of here, and I'll probably roll the door in. But that did, taking that little bit off did kind of suck the fenders in, which I'm happy with that. So I'm not gonna take any more material off there, off the blocks anyway. But I'm gonna take more material off the inside of the fender. So that side is done, so there's no hardly any trace of that black left. Alright, so I don't know if you can see that. So that's about the angle that I got. And that's roughly angle on this side. Alright, so bolt it back on, see what we got. The only thing you really can't adjust here is these two screws. You can't adjust them, and then once this is glued in, I mean, it's going to be glued in. It's going to be locked in place. So, and then I got two options as far as fixing my gap here. I could mark this and make this wider, or I can mark it and fill it in so it takes up the gap. But I think I'm gonna fill the door. This one's pretty bad actually. And so that's the gap. Up here is what I want to see, so I want to make the rest of it look like the top. And we don't want the fender coming back anyway, because then the door won't open very far, right? Alright, so yeah, basically I'm just gonna fill that. See what we got here. Actually, I'm gonna do kind of both. I think I'm gonna remove just a fudge right here on the fender, so my door can open farther. actually take that back. Look at this side again. I'm looking at the relationship where the fender is to the pillar. So that looks good. So if I do this one close to the same. Yeah, it looks like I probably want to keep my fender where it is and build the door. Alright, well, so I guess that's the next step. I'm going to pull the doors off. Yeah, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape it on the inside. Because I'll probably end up rolling it over anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Pull the doors off and then run a bead epoxy to build that front edge back up. And then sand her down and put it back together. I'm going to do that off camera. You kind of seen me do that before already. Fixing this gap and stuff, so we want to keep the videos short. Alright guys, so went ahead and reshaped the doors. So I epoxied in that front edge and got that shape. Now when I shaped the door, I actually didn't do it with it on here or this even mounted to the cab. I just matched the door up to the fender and then just using a file just went ahead and shaped it, and then I put it all together and then did further shaping of the fender to match the door. So I got pretty good lines and I can open the door. It's usually about a 45-degree angle is what you're looking to get. If you go any further, then it's going to push that fender out, and you don't want that. So that's that side, that's this side. Now it's hard to really see because it's not primer here, but I am going to primer. I'm going to go ahead and primer this when I take this fender off, because it is ready to glue now. So that is the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the front clip again. And then get that off. Do a quick shot of primer on the door because I want to be able to see the lines as I glue this in. And CG's being extra noisy today, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll probably tape. See, I don't want glue on this block or anything on that block because I'm gonna be gluing it. So I'm just gonna tape that off real quick, and then on the inside of the fender, I'm gonna rough that up real good too, and then I'll put this back together after the primer's dry, and then we'll super glue it in place, and then once the super glue is set up, then we'll epoxy weld it in place on top of that. When I do that stuff, I'm not sure because we have to glue in the radiator support. So I'll probably do that in one step together rather than mixing up epoxy twice. I'll just do it once and do it all together. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and I'll glue that in. Alright, so, I mean, I literally just primered this like 5 minutes ago, so primer is still wet, but it's really just for a visual right now. I mean, there's more body work that I'll be doing to this before I get ready to paint everything. I'll be pulling the doors off and painting them separate from the cab. Versus the other one, I left the doors on. I mean, you can actually paint it with the doors on if you want to, and maybe I will. I don't know. But right now I'm gonna focus on gluing this thing in place. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do one side at a time. I gotta find my glue. I just gonna have to get a brand new one. You can get like a 6-pack of these on Amazon for like $20. Or at the dollar store. They're $5 at the dollar store, Dollar General. Alright, so what I'm going to do is put a good helping of this glue on here. This is the gel, Loctite. And what I'll probably do is one side at a time. Like, I'll let this cure before I do the other side. Alright, now, just because I'm going to put this screw in. Nice thing about the jelly is you got some work time, but it's pretty much where I want it. So you can see my door gap looks pretty even, nice and tight. So I'm not even going to clamp it, I'm just going to leave it right where it is. Maybe not. Alright, I'm just going to let it sit like that. And I got my 45-degree. I'm not seeing it move. Alright. I'll do that now. When I do the other one, because this will be glued, I'm not going to be able to remove this other side. Or I'm not going to be able to remove the whole front clip and put this on unless I take that block out. So this side I'm going to have to kind of squirt it in between the fender and that block. But I'm going to leave it just how it is. So yeah, I think this one's going to turn out nice. Alright, so we'll let that cure and then we'll come back and do the other side. Alright, so it's been setting up about 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. If it comes apart, then it's not really that big of a deal. I'll just re-glue it. Add some more glue and I'll just do both sides. I'm not going to wait like a day for this to dry. Because this side really wanted to just kind of fall in place anyway. But, you know, if you're having problems with the alignment, where you got to really kind of force one side versus the other, then you might want to wait. But I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of this in there. Oh yeah, so I got a good help in there. So when this is all done, actually I think I got that side better than the first side. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this down. Alright, take a look. So I don't think we moved. Actually, I think I'd rather it. I'm going to try to hold it in place here. Oop, nope, I don't want that. But one thing I can do, now on this side, so this side looks pretty good too. So rubbing just a little bit right there. Let's see what that looks like. That's not bad. So I'm going to try to lock that down. Oh, why is that? This one's not going to slide on me. So that's a pretty good line. I might take a, after I pull this off, I might just hit that little spot right there, and that'll help me get my door open a little bit more. But you can also shim the doors too, just like I was talking about, adding a thin cardboard in there. This side, so I'm going to put it up on here, and you might want to support the front. Just so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm about even. So I'm gonna leave that be, because I'd rather it be a little bit too tight than too loose, because I can always make it looser, right? So, and you know, it's just removing that front clip and then hitting that edge there with a file if you had to, or you could also move it, because there is slop in them holes in the cab that mount the block on, so you should have slop that way too. If not, you can always use a file and hog the hole out to give you a adjustment. But I'm going to leave it just like that, and then I'm going to bring the other one up here. This one isn't quite as good. I don't know, it's pretty close to the same, I guess. But one thing, in these doors, there's actually a hole right here. And I put that in there so that you can do an adjustment screw. You don't want to use it if you don't have to, but if you had to, you can actually adjust that so it pushes the door forward as well. So here's this side. This side's actually a little worse than the other one. But yeah, I can't wait to get this on my other chassis. Especially with the FPV, with the dash and everything, that's gonna look cool. So this is the chassis that this will actually be going on. So it's gonna sit up quite a ways. I had this on there before, but in the RC four-wheel drive stock format. So that'll be fun, because I'll be taking this plate out of here and doing all the mods, pretty much the same that I'm doing with the RC four-wheel drive chassis, but on that. So there's gonna be some custom stuff with that. Or I may actually, I got a RC four-wheel drive chassis frame rails somewhere around here. I may just rebuild this onto the RC four-wheel drive chassis, and that way everything carries over. And that might be the way to go, because then we're not printing special parts to make it work. You just replace the frame rail. The frame kit is pretty cheap, you know, it's not a big expense. That actually might be a better way to go, but that's going to come later. I wanted to leave that together in case I needed it for a demonstration or whatever. But when I get that cab, when this cab is done, this is actually gonna go on this chassis. And so yeah, I'm gonna go through basically what I did to this chassis to make it work. So basically I prototyped it on this with this truck here, but I'm gonna reuse this chassis for that build. But it's already got the front frame extension built with a servo relocation, and that kind of tucks underneath the radiator support, and then it's got built-in mounts for the radiator support. And then this has got the back frame extension here. So, but I got a few revisions. I got to revise the receiver for the Reese hitch, which I got I think it's an Endura hitch. Oh, what did it happen to that? Thought I had a ball. Oh, it does. I see. Okay, so it's adaptable for different stuff, but yeah, anyways, I got to make it a little bit bigger, and then I got to create some gussets, because that's how a real one actually is. So that'll make that stronger, and then that way it's already gonna be set up for a Reese hitch. So that's gonna be cool. In case we gotta pull some Fords out or tow them to the mechanic, we'll have that ability. So anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna conclude this tutorial. The next part of the build will be doing the body work. So we'll be adding the filler piece and then fitting in the grill. I'm gonna do some things to the grill to make it look a little more scale, because it's so blocky. It looks ridiculous. So we're gonna shave this down to get that tighter. so it doesn't look so goofy. So that's stock, and that's with it shaved. I don't know how much further I'm gonna go. I might actually go a little bit further. And then yeah, we'll put the filler piece in. Then we got to fit the grill. So whatever grill that you plan on using though, you need to use that particular grill. If you use a stock grill and you go to upgrade, this won't fit. I had to rework that other truck because I used the original grill for fitting, and I didn't realize that these were that much different. They shouldn't be, but they are. So so that's going to require some removal, and then you'll have some options here with a grill with a bumper mount. You could leave these stock tabs on here, or you can cut them off, because that frame extension I was showing you, that's got the receivers for the bumper, and they're hidden in there. So you could go that route, and then that way the bumpers are mounted to the frame like it's supposed to be. And then yeah, once you have the front grill corrected and we have that glassed in and done, then we'll go to gluing in the radiator support, and then I'm gonna cut the backing out of the grill on this one. So we'll show you how to do all that. So that'll come in the next one, but I'm gonna try to leave this thing alone for now. And I need to double check it again because I've been fiddling with it. Yeah, I think it's gonna be just fine. So yeah, when you when you're trying to do this to final assembly, you got to be able to fit your hand in here to get to the screwdriver, or you're gonna have to go through the glass. So that's gonna be fun. It is what it is. All right, guys. So till the next one.